Welcome to the start of the show. Now, our first guest is a writer here in Boston. You can find her stuff online. Please welcome to the show, Angie Frissore.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome to Boston's first international late night show. We're glad to have you here.
I'm psyched to be here.
And we want to tell everybody at home that you're a writer and you write for this many things, but we know that you're at examiner.com and that you review comedy shows, comedians, fun things in Boston. Let's tell people, what's your official title over there?
I am the Boston Comedy Scene Examiner for examiner.com, as well as a couple other things under the Gun Review and Laugh Spin. And I review comedy here in Boston and elsewhere, primarily in Boston, though. Do a lot of promo for local comics and national comics.
And we wanted to talk a little bit about what the direction here is in Boston for the comedy scene. We know that we had this big boom years ago when comedians were getting on the Tonight Show and everybody was excited, but this is years later now. What direction is the comedy scene going in here?
Well, I think we're starting to see a little bit of sort of a boom towards that direction. We're opening a couple new venues in the city, which hopefully will bring some out-of-town talent in. And I think that the scene's kind of bouncing back.
Also, with out-of-town talent, we have the Boston Comedy Festival.
Yes.
And there's also another one, the Boston Comedy Arts Festival. We were talking about the Boston Comedy Festival because there are prizes, comedians come in from all over, and you've reported on this. Now, this has been going about 10 years, hasn't it?
About 12 years, I think.
And who did you get to talk to that's come in to be in that festival?
Andy Kindler. That was my most recent one for this year's Boston Comedy Festival.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what do they think about this festival? Because they can win big money now coming to Boston. Do people like money?
No.
Yeah. My dad, he says no, but we know he loves the money. But one of the interviews that you did in the past year, it's one of your favorite interviews of all time. It's Marc Maron. Let's tell the people here, obviously, who Marc Maron is. He has this great podcast. But how did your interview go with him? It
was great. Marc was in Boston last January for the Magners Comedy Festival. As you said, he has a podcast that's really, really taken off. It's the WTF podcast. And he got his start here in Boston. He's a lovely guy. And he gets to talk to some of the most creative people in comedy. So it was really great to talk to him and sort of pick his brain about his experiences and his time starting out here in Boston.
When you say WTF, I want to explain it to my dad. It's what the fill in the blanks. You know what I'm saying, Dad? Okay. But the podcast has taken off, and all these big name comedians have been on it. And he comes here sometimes and actually does the podcast on stage, doesn't he? He
does. He's actually coming in February to do that. He'll be doing a headlining show and then doing a live podcast from the Wilbur Theater.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
When it comes to reviewing and seeing these comedians, my question is to you, what makes good stand-up?
I think to be a good stand-up comic, you need to have your audience be able to connect with you in some sort of way. There has to be some sort of empathy that goes on. There's a lot of comics who are insult comics, and I think that by nature that's sort of putting your audience off automatically. Whereas if you can make fun of yourself, you can make fun of others, people can sort of feel like they can walk in your shoes. I think that's going to go a long way.
So if you're like a flabby, balding Greek man, you might be able to tell a few jokes. These people don't laugh. They don't care. There's that one Chinese guy in the third row. He always smiles, but that's pretty much all I'm getting. You also do this event every year. It's the Boston Comedian Relay, or am I getting that right? Boston Comedy Relay.
Yes, the Greater Boston Comedy Relay. We do it every year with the clubs in town, basically to raise money for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life program. So all the comics, usually about 30, participate every year. They donate their time for each show.
Do they run, or are they just telling jokes?
They're telling jokes. It's named the Relay after the Relay for Life event. But all the comedians donate their time, and they come out and perform for free.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How about that, everybody? Yeah. I think that you should actually have them run as well. So that way they do their comedy, and then they have a race. Whoever wins, and they get the title. You know.
I think they should do their comedy while they're running.
Yeah,
Think it'd
it's
make
kind
it-
of like me with my little monologue. I'm running out here sweating, and thanks for laughing. Okay. Let's tell people that are watching, of course, overseas, all over the country, if they want to find some of your articles, where do they go online?
www.examiner.com, Arts and Entertainment, the Boston Comedy Scene Examiner.
And we wanted to, before we go, thank you, because we've done a lot of press releases and things in the past, and we're always happy when we see them pop up on examiner.com under your name. Ladies and gentlemen, Angie Frissore.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. All right, everybody, we'll be right back. Right